Okay, welcome back. Today we will discuss about the server action. Can you remember in the previous video we have connected the MongoDB, and it's time to try set some data in the database through server action. So this is very important. Server action is very important in the React Next.js 14 and 15. So first of all, we need to know and what we have. I have the bare minimum. No functionality are there. Bare minimum form. We'll use the form. I have used it here in the register. This is the static HTML code, nothing else. No functionality are there. So we will create server action. Through server action, we will save our data to the database. So we will be able to ascertain two things. One is how server action works, and another thing, our MongoDB is workable, is functional or not. So first of all, let's determine what is server action and why it is needed. So server action in Next.js 14, a new feature that allow you to define and execute server-side logic directly in your components without needing to explicitly create an API routes. Can you remember? We have created the API routes, but if you wanna send some data from client side to server side, you need Axios, face, this sort of things, right? But nothing is needed. It's a new feature, so we don't need any API call. Can you think that? It's very tremendous option directly in our component without needing an API routes. This is a part of Next.js effort to streamline the development experience, offering a more cohesive and integrated approach to managing server-side operations within a component. So what are server actions? Server actions enable you to define server-side code directly in a React component and execute that code without triggered by client-side event like from submission or button clicks. This means that you can handle tasks like data fetching, updates, or file processing without the need for separate API route file. So why a little bit announcement? You can get a tremendous and superb course. This is my course. MERN stack, Typescript, Ecommerce, Docker, RTKquery, and along with deploy. It's a nice and huge course. So its price is $44, but I can give you, for my students, I can give it only $9. Okay, so it will last for 5 days, but you will get $9. If the course is needed, you can contact with me, just $9.99. Okay, so it's a super course, tremendous course. So you will able to learn a lot of things. You will get Typescript, e-commerce, Docker, RTKquery, and deployment. So it is built on React 9.18, Node.js 20, and role-based automatic redirect. So I will give the discount link and coupon code and course link in the description box. You can come and check, and don't hesitate to grab the course. Thank you very much. I use server action, a simpler development experience. So as we have no API, server action removes the need of separate API routes, meaning that you can collocate your server-side logic with their UI components. So this is our UI components, not API routes. So we can interact with that. No API call is needed. Automatic serialize and state management, and no state previously. Can you remember? We can send our data. We used state. Use state hook. Server actions automatically handle data serialization and rehydration between the server and client. This allows you to pass data back to the client triggered side effect without having to manually handle serialization. Improve performance. Server actions take full advantage of server-side rendering and incremental static generation. They ensure that your code runs in server-side environment, which is optimized for performance and can reduce the client-side workload. Less client-side JavaScript. Since the action is running server-side, it reduces the need for additional client-side JavaScript which can improve page load times and overall performance. Easy form handling. Server actions can make it easier to handle forms. You can define an action to handle form submissions directly in your component, eliminating the need of manually call API endpoint from the client. Security. By keeping logic server side, you avoid exposing sensitive logic to the client. This also allows better control over validation, authorization, access to secure resources. So benefits of server actions: no API route required. You do not need to create a separate API routes to handle server-side logic. It is collocated with the components that use it. Reduce boilerplate. Writing API routes for simple actions like from submission or update can be tedious. Server actions eliminate the extra step. Improved developer experience. This process of writing, testing, and managing server side operation is greatly simplified by having all code in one place. Less client-side overhead. Since server actions run server-side, there are less JavaScript needed on the client side. This reduces page size and can lead a faster load time and interactions. Optimize data fetching and mutation. With server actions, you can streamline data fetching and mutation in a way that does not require complex client-side logic or extra libraries. So these are the benefits and these are the server actions. So this is the new feature of Next.js 14 or 15. Nextjs 14. If you go to their official website, you can see their server action is stable. Okay, server action stable. Progressively enhanced mutation, integrate caching and revalidation. Simply function calls work natively with forms. So this is very handy and very powerful. So we are gonna use it here without needing any API call or XCO space. This sort of unnecessary stuffs are not needed. Directly it will be connect with the MongoDB database and our database will be saved. I will show you whether it is we have no data over here. You see this is our database. No data is over here. Okay, in the next tutorial I will create a user and I will show you that our data is saving directly successfully. So this is pretty much handy. Stay tuned, stay connected. See you soon.